So Disney made $91.36 billion in 2024 using a simple marketing strategy that you can apply to your business regardless of where you are right now. How do I know? Because it's the same marketing strategy that we actually teach our clients. We call it the client attraction flywheel. And I was looking at Disney and I was like, interesting. They're applying the same process that we actually teach our clients. And they just do it at a larger scale. So I'm gonna break this down to you step by step, regardless if you're a 6-figure business owner, 7-figure business owner, 8-figure business owner, or whatever the case may be, and you can actually take these concepts and apply them into your business. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. Okay, I got a few slides that I actually put together to kind of give you some visuals of this, right? So as I say right here, how Disney used the client attraction flywheel to build a marketing ecosystem that made $91.36 billion in 2024. And again, we call this a client attraction flywheel. So it's 4 components of this. We have captivate, capture, cultivate, and then close, right? So let me walk you through this step by step. And the beautiful thing when it comes to close, when you do this right, individuals will close themselves. You won't have to close them. So let's walk through it, all right? So one thing I want you to understand is that marketing ecosystem is more important than a marketing funnel, right? The days of just having a marketing funnel where people find you, they buy from you, are long gone, right? You want to have an ecosystem where people come into your world and now they can buy from you when they're ready to buy from you. So how do we do that, Mark? Let me show you. So as the first part I told you about is captivate. So captivate is about awareness, right? Now there's multiple ways to captivate and gain awareness. So you can do look at me marketing, where you're out there showing off stuff and you're showing off your cars, or you're showing off your homes, or you're showing off your watches and how much money you made and all this different type of stuff. You're a fitness trainer, you're showing off your muscles and your abs and all different type of stuff. And that works, right? So that's called look at me marketing. And then you got becoming magnetic. How do you become magnetic? Well, you get in front of people and you prove to people you can help them by actually helping them. You speak to where they currently are, their current reality, and their preferred reality, and then you speak to the gap that's there as well. And now they see that you can speak to their problem better than they can. And they know that if you can speak to their problem better than they can, you most likely have the solution that they need, right? So that's how you become magnetic. So let me walk you through how Disney does it and how you can apply it, all right? So Disney uses this thing that we actually call strategic entry points, right? Strategic entry points. So here's some examples. So Disney uses cartoons. So I was literally watching cartoons with my son when this was years ago. And my son, MJ, he's 12 now. So it's probably like 5 or 6. And his younger brother, Royal, is 10. And so they're like a year apart. And I was sitting watching cartoons and I was like, man, cartoons are Disney's free content, right? And now I see they bring you into this ecosystem and this is their whole fun. I made a video years ago around that. So let me walk you through this. So basically, Disney uses Mickey Mouse, right? That was their very first entry point, strategic entry point that worked. Then they came up with Snow White and once they got the system from our Mickey Mouse, then they brought in Snow White and they could just do it again. And then they tested Pinocchio. Pinocchio didn't work out. They actually lost money with Pinocchio. And then they brought Dumbo out, right? Dumbo made them some money and then also recouped what they lost with Pinocchio. And then they used Elsa with Frozen, right? And then Tiana with Princess and the Frog. Because now you want to bring in, okay, how do we attract more diversity, so to speak, Black people into our audience, right? So let's use a Black strategic entry point. And then it's like, how do we get other? Then we use Moana. And then you even saw Lilo and Stitch. You know, at one point that was tapped into a different audience. And even Lion King, these are different strategic entry points, okay? So now what you want to ask yourself is, what are the strategic entry points that you use? Like, what are some free giveaways that you give away in terms of strategic entry points? So for us, for example, we have our Strategic Scale Network, where you're most likely watching this video. And this CEO Playbook series show is a strategic entry point. We have another one where we do with our Strategic Scale, on our Strategic Scale Network, where I do deep dives with business owners. If you haven't checked that out, make sure you check it out. Where I'm literally breaking down the business and giving them insights on how to grow and scale the business. These are strategic entry points. We have another one called Confessions of a Recovering Workaholic with me and my guy Kev, where we kind of sharing a lot of stuff that people don't share, CEOs and founders don't share when it comes to growth and scale. Strategic entry points. If you check the description, We have a newsletter. It's extremely valuable. We have some playbooks, a lot of different cool stuff, and you'll see a lot of that in the description section. These are all just strategic entry points, right? So think about your business and what strategic entry points are you currently using, or what strategic entry points can you begin to use? And the key, if you don't have one yet, you want to start with one, just like Disney did. All right. So now let's talk about capture. So capture, you want to have a micro commitment mechanism. So what's a micro commitment mechanism? So here's how Disney uses. So now once the kids get into the toys and so we get into the cartoons, now they want the merch. So this is like toys, clothes, room decor, backpacks, lunchbox, etc. Then the families watch movies. They buy the streaming services, Disney Plus, and now you got a recurring, right? Because now they have these micro commitments. How can you apply this into your business? So for us, we have workshops that we do. We have our client attraction machine book. You can literally get it for like $4, right? These are just micro commitments. That's of extreme value and it's moving people closer to working with us. But what does this look like for your business? So that's the capture, right? And then it's cultivate. How do we now cultivate a relationship? You probably heard people say, always be closing, ABC, always be closing. I believe you always be cultivating. So one of our strategies is to out-teach our marketplace. How do we give in our free content that we put out in the marketplace? How do we make it more valuable than the stuff individuals are paying for, right? We're cultivating a relationship. So you cultivate a relationship with profit multipliers, right? Here's how Disney does it. Disney has theme parks, and you know if you go to a Disney theme park, right? First of all, you got to pay to get in it, and then they have all the different offers and so forth inside of the theme park. So you got Disneyland, you got Disney World, you got Disney Sea, you got all different types of things, right? Disney cruises, experiences, resorts. You got a lifetime of nostalgic attachment, and then you got multi-generational loyalty. So you probably grew up on Disney, and if you got kids, your kids probably grew up on Disney, and your grandkids grew up on Disney. So this is multi-generational loyalty. And when you do this right, you'll understand something critical, that closing is for amateurs. Disney don't gotta close you. Disney don't gotta close you on nothing because they did the marketing. They did the captivate process, right? They did the cultivate. They did the capture process. They did the cultivate process. So now you close yourself. So closing is for amateurs. Pros understand great marketing makes selling unnecessary. Pros understand great marketing makes selling unnecessary. So when you apply the client attraction flywheel, the captivate, the capture, the cultivate, and the close, closing and them buying from you is just the logical next step, right? And this is where this whole process that we call the automatic selling system comes into place, right? So I want you to think about, I want you to zoom out, and I want you to look at your business, and I want you to look at this process that Disney does, and you'll never look at Disney and their marketing the same again. And I want you to see, how do you apply this? Because they use it to make $91.36 billion in 2024 alone. I'm not sure if that's your goals or how big you're looking to grow, but I just broke down how you can take this same strategy and take the same principles and apply it into your business starting today. But the key is for you to take it and start to apply it. All right, go take some action. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next video. Talk to you soon.